Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about connective tissues. Okay, so connective tissues, right, are derived from the embryonic mesoderm and occur in many different forms. So connective tissues, they are tissues, all right, that came from embryonic mesoderm. Embryonic mesoderm, right? This is one of the three germ layers that is formed during embryonic development. Okay. Now dalam embryonic development ni ada banyak stages, right? In one of the stage of this embryonic development is gastrulation. Semasa gastrulation ni, what happens? Tiga germ layers akan dibentuk, right? And these three germ layers are the ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm, right? So that particular mesoderm layer that was formed or that is formed during the gastrulation, during the embryonic development, right, will form these connective tissues. Right, so when it comes to this embryonic development or embryogenesis, you will learn it in detail in the second semester for STPM candidates. Okay. So now, talking about connective tissues, there are two major classes here, right? Connective tissue proper and special connective tissues. And connective tissue proper, they are the loose connective tissues and dense connective tissue. While in the special connective tissues, they are the cartilage, bone, and blood, right? So let's go to the first one, these loose connective tissues. Now, loose connective tissues are tissues that consist of cells, right? And these cells are scattered within a matrix, and that matrix contains large amount of ground substance. Right? Example of loose connective tissues are adipose tissues, and adipose tissues are made from adipose cells, and other name for these adipose cells are fat cells, right? So your fat cells made up fat tissue, and that fat tissue is one example of loose connective tissue, right? Other than fat cells are mast cells, okay, and fibroblasts. Okay, so now talking about the matrix, all right, the matrix where these connective tissues are being scattered, right? They are being scattered, right? That matrix has a large amount of ground substance, right? And then that matrix, right? Okay, since it has a large amount of ground substance, so that matrix has gelatinous material, right? And this gelatinous material, right, in the matrix itself is being strengthened by a loose scattering of protein fibers such as collagen. Can you see here? This is the matrix where the connective tissues can be found, right? This is the matrix. So kalau tengok matrix ini dalam bentuk kartun ini, gambar ni, lukisan ni, drawing, alright. Yang kuning ni ialah adipose cells, okay, which made up the adipose tissue. Now, this adipose cell or adipose tissue, they are being scattered on this matrix, alright, on or within this matrix. Now, this matrix, this is what is inside the matrix, right? Okay, it has gelatinous material. And inside this gelatinous material, all right, there are many loose scattering protein fibers like this collagen. Apa ni collagen ni? Collagen, banyak collagen. All right. Okay, collagen yang loose. Okay, that supports the tissue. Supports the tissue means supports the adipose tissue. All right, by forming a meshwork. All right, this is the meshwork. The elastin, by forming a meshwork that makes the tissue elastic and reticulin, okay, which helps support the network of collagen. So these loose connective tissues can be found beneath your skin, all right, and between your organs. Okay, so the function provides support, insulation, food storage, and nourishment for epithelium. Okay, of dense connective tissues. Right? Dense connective tissues, these are tissues that has less ground substance, right? Less ground substance, but contains tightly packed collagen fibers. The loose connective tissues has loosely collagen fibers, but for the dense, it has tightly packed collagen fibers. So making these dense connective tissues stronger than the loose connective tissues. All right. Now, there are two types of dense connective tissues, okay, the regular and irregular. Now, for the dense regular connective tissue, all right, there are collagen fibers, okay, line up in parallel, like what you're seeing here. Line up in parallel, okay, parallel, like the strands of a rope. This is the structure of tendons, which bind muscle to the bone, okay, and ligaments which bind bone to bone. Then the collagen fibers of dense irregular, okay, connective tissues, right, have many different orientation. That's why nama dia irregular, sebab dia punya collagen fiber tu, right, orientation dia ada parallel, ada tidak anti-parallel, okay, so they're irregular. So this type of connective tissue produces the tough coverings that package organs, such as the capsules of the kidneys and adrenal glands. Atau capsule, permukaan luar, right? And this dense irregular connective tissue also cover your muscle, your nerves and bones. Okay, so yang gambar sini ni, right, this represent the dense regular connective tissue, right? So you can see how this fibroblast is being squeezed between these collagen fibers. Okay, so location of these dense connective tissues, tendons, right, sheet around muscles, right, these tendons and sheet around muscles is for the dense regular, okay, while the coverings, okay, or capsules of the kidneys and adrenal glands are where these dense irregular connective tissues can be found. Right, function provides flexible and strong connections, okay, strong connections between tissues. Okay, so apparently this is the loose connective tissue, very obvious, right? Fat cells, fat tissues saja, memang dalam kepala kita ialah, okay, ini ialah loose connective tissue, okay. And then we have these dense connective tissues, okay. You can see how the collagens are tightly packed, right? And this is one example of the dense regular connective tissues, okay. Oh, leg of a wolf. Alright, special connective tissues. So these are group of cells, okay, with their products that attach or, okay, found between different tissues, okay. So the products of these special connective tissues, okay, are fibers that compose of polysaccharides, okay, polysaccharides. So special connective tissues consist of bone, cartilage and blood. All right. Now functions. Bone and cartilage provides mechanical support for the body. Right? Isn't it obvious? And then cartilage, it binds with other tissues and fills spaces. Okay, I will further explain this later. Bone provides blood cells. How? Your bone marrow, which is inside your bone. Okay, this is the site where red blood cell is being synthesized. Okay, and your bone marrow also the site where your T cell, all right, and B cell are being synthesized, right? But your T cell, after it is already synthesized in the bone marrow, it will migrate to your thymus for maturation. While your B cell, right, After it is synthesized in your bone marrow, it will remain in the bone marrow until maturation, right? That's why the B cell is known as B cell. B stands for bone marrow, right? Because that B cell mature in the bone marrow, while the T cell, although it is synthesized in the bone marrow, but it will travel to the thymus for maturation. That's why the T cell is known as T cell. T stands for thymus. All right. Okay, cartilage and bone. Okay, other than provides mechanical support for the body, apparently this cartilage and bone also protects and cushions organs such as the heart. Okay, your rib cage. Your rib cage are made up from cartilage and bones, and your rib cage protects and cushions your heart, your lungs. Okay. Your blood also transports substances and for gases exchange, okay, which is the red blood cell, to be more specific here. Okay, ada satu video di sini. Okay, pasal bone rasanya.
There are two types of bone tissue, compact and spongy. All of the bones of the skeleton have both kinds of tissue. Compact bone tissue is arranged in osteons, also known as Haversian systems. Osteons are formed where lamellae are laid down in a joining series of concentric rings. The tissue is protective and supportive along the horizontal axis. Compact bone is found in areas that need strength, such as the shaft of long bones. In spongy or cancellous bone, the lamellae are arranged in branching columns called trabeculae. The spaces between trabeculae are filled with either red or yellow marrow. The trabeculae are oriented along lines of stress. Spongy bone, found in bones where stress is applied from many directions, has the ability to transfer stress without breaking.
Okay, sudah habis. Alright, so it's about the bone. Alright, very short video there. Now, bone. Okay, this first special connective tissue here. Now, bone, they are formed from osteocytes. Osteo maksudnya tulang, site ialah cell, so cell tulang. Right, so formed from osteocyte. This is one osteocyte yang kecil ni. Apa? Osteocyte ni yang kecil-kecil ni, yang hitam ni. Yang hitam ni. Okay, this is an osteocyte. So there are many osteocytes here. Okay, so you can see the osteocytes here. Okay, dalam ni, right? Dalam ni banyak osteocyte. Okay, and these osteocytes, they are found in lacunae. Okay, lacunae. Ni lacuna, banyak jadi lacunae. So ni lacunae. With intricate tiny canaliculi for distributing the matrix. So osteocytes, you can see here, this is osteocyte found, okay, in lacuna. Okay, ni yang better lah. This is the osteocyte found in lacuna, right? And this lacuna has many canaliculi. This is canaliculi, right? Many canaliculi, and this canaliculi is distributing the matrix. The matrix here is referring to the lacuna, right? You can see how one lacuna share the matrix with other lacuna, alright, via the canaliculi. Boleh nampak kan? Okay. Now, class, based on my experience with your seniors, alright, this osteocyte is one cell, right? Nampak gambar ni? This osteocyte is one cell where it has its cytoplasm, its nucleus, right? And other organelles. This lacuna here is not the cytoplasm of the osteocyte. Osteocyte is osteocyte. This lacuna is a matrix, right? Is a matrix. Okay? Is a matrix. And the matrix, right, of this lacuna, so this lacuna has matrix, right? And this matrix of this lacuna, alright, share with the other lacuna via this canaliculi. Now the matrix, right, or the lacuna, okay, the matrix of the lacuna consists of calcium phosphates, carbonates, and proteins that are secreted by the osteocytes. So these osteocytes secrete or produce substance to the lacuna. All right. Okay, your bone, all right, consists of Haversian system or osteon. So ini satu tulang, right? A cross section of this bone, you will see there are many osteon. Banyak osteon sini, banyak osteon. Right, osteon or Haversian system. Don't mind the spelling of the Haversian, right, with the capital H. Okay, Haversian system or Haversian canal, right, that is found in the center. Yang tepi ini banyak lamella. Alright, so this lamella, alright, they are concentric bone layers. Okay, nampak kan? Concentric bone layers. They are layers of bone here, and it is concentric. Okay, concentric bone layers. And then di bahagian tengah sini ada banyak osteon or Haversian system. Now this Haversian system or Haversian canal, alright, is supplied with blood vessel. Can you see the blood vessel here that bring raw materials for the bone formation? Okay. All right. Now Haversian canal, right, this Haversian canal are linked by Volkmann's canal. This is the Volkmann's canal. Alright, Volkmann's canal, to form an interconnecting system for blood circulation. So dalam tulang ini, alright, so now inside the bone, alright, one Haversian system is connected with other Haversian system via Volkmann's canal, right, and this is needed to circulate the blood within this osteon, okay, or Haversian system. Okay, so now a micrograph of this osteon. This is how the osteon will look like. All right, and this is the central canal where you will find the blood capillary. Okay, central canal. Okay, so a cross section of the bone. All right, this is what you'll be seeing. Now coincidentally, if the cross section is done on or within the Volkmann canal, you'll be able to see the Volkmann canal. Nampak kan Volkmann canal ni? Right, and yang ini pun sama. So this Volkmann canal connect this osteon here with this osteon. Okay, so this is a Haversian system or an osteon, and this is the Haversian canal, right? Okay, now cartilage. Okay, cartilage, they are tissues that are not as hard as bone but flexible and high tensile strength. Okay, so cartilage, okay, they are formed by chondrocytes. You can see this. This is one example of cartilage. All right, fibrous cartilage. So sorry, before we go to this fibrous cartilage, this is a general fact about cartilage. Sorry, it's mixed up. It's okay. Let me rephrase that. Cartilage are formed by chondrocytes in lacunae that lack of canaliculi. Okay, so the lacuna of this cartilage, they don't have the tiny projections compared with the bone. Okay, tiny projections yang kamu panggil canaliculi. So these chondrocytes receive oxygen and nutrients via diffusion, right? Now, chondro means cartilage, cytes cell, so cell cartilage. So chondrocytes ialah cell cartilage. Okay, now the matrix of this cartilage lack of calcium carbonates. The matrix of the bone has calcium carbonate. Tapi cartilage tiada calcium carbonate. That's why cartilage, they are softer than the bone. Okay, because cartilage lack of calcium carbonates. Okay, and consists of protein that's secreted by the chondrocytes. So there are three types of cartilage based on the types of protein in the matrix or matrices. Okay, so the first type of cartilage is the fibrous cartilage. This is the fibrous cartilage. Okay, and this is where it can be found. Okay, pads within the knee joint, between your pubic bones, all right, of pelvis, and in your intervertebral disc. Okay, this is where the fibrous cartilage can be found. Now, this fibrous cartilage has a matrix. Okay, it's a matrix that contains strong collagen fibers. Can you see these strong collagen fibers? All right, strong collagen fibers. Okay, so found in the structures that withstand tension and pressure, such as the pads between the vertebrae in the backbone and the wedges in the knee joint. So now this is the chondrocytes, right, of a fibrous cartilage, and this is the lacuna of the chondrocyte. So chondrocyte in lacuna, right? So chondrocyte in lacuna, right? This is the actual micrograph, right? You can see this is the chondrocyte, right? It has its nucleus and then its cytoplasm here, right? And these chondrocytes, like what I've mentioned earlier, secrete substances, right? Secrete substances. Okay, and the substances is being secreted into the lacuna, and this lacuna is lack of the canaliculi and lack of calcium carbonate. Okay, if we compare with the bone. Next, elastic cartilage. So elastic cartilage, right, more elastic fibers than the hyaline cartilage. Okay, for this reason, this elastic cartilage is more flexible and is found in the framework of the outer ear. Okay, that's why telinga kamu tu boleh kena pulas semua kan. Sebab of this elastic cartilage. So your ear has elastic cartilage, or it is made from elastic cartilage, right? So you can see, right, this is the chondrocyte in lacuna. Setiap satu yang bulat dengan putih ini ialah chondrocyte in lacuna, right? Where is the chondrocyte yang titik hitam tu? Where is the lacuna yang putih ini, right? And this is the elastic fibers in the matrix. Okay, elastic fibers, banyak elastic fibers. So kalau nampak gambar raja micrograph ni, you should know this is elastic cartilage. Okay, now functions to provide support, right, but tolerates distortion without damage and returns to original shape, right? Doesn't that describe your ear? It does, right? Okay, so locations other than the ear is auricle of the external ear, epiglottis. Okay, epiglottis is a flap, right, that controls the opening of your airway passage or your alimentary canal. That's why you when you are breathing, right, this epiglottis flap will block or close your alimentary canal passageway, right? And when it close or block your alimentary canal passageway, right, your airway passage will be left open, vice versa. That's why you cannot breathe, you cannot inhale while swallowing. You don't believe me? Try now. Coba telan kamu punya aliur tu, pada masa yang sama kamu tarik nafas. Boleh ke tak boleh? Tak boleh kan? Memang tak boleh. Kalau boleh means you are an alien. No. Alright, hyaline cartilage. Okay, hyaline cartilage, the most common type of cartilage, contains only very fine collagen fibers. Hampir tak nampak collagen fibers di matrix ni, right? Hampir tak nampak. So the matrix, okay, consists of glycoprotein and collagen fibrils. Okay, has white translucent appearance, right? White translucent appearance. Translucent ni macam lucinar. Okay. Now, this hyaline cartilage can be found in the nose, okay, and at the ends of the long bones and the ribs, and it forms rings in the walls of respiratory passage. Okay, the fetal skeleton also is made of this type of cartilage. Later, the cartilaginous fetal skeleton is replaced by bone. So you know, fetus, they are very fragile. Okay, so again, yang hitam ni ialah chondrocytes dengan nukleus dia dan cytoplasm. Yang putih ni ialah lacuna. Right, this is the matrix. Okay, so functions of hyaline cartilage provides stiff but somewhat flexible support, reduces friction between bony surfaces. Okay, so location your trachea, okay, part of your nasal septum, okay, hidung kamu tu. Okay, now closer look, right, where this hyaline cartilage can be found, right? Yang ini hidung tu, right? Not the bridge of your nose, itu tulang, right? Your nose itself. Okay, it's the hyaline cartilage. And then rings of respiratory tract, okay, for support and protection. Okay, so this is the chondrocytes, this is the lacuna, this is the matrix. Okay, and other location where this hyaline, elastic and fibro cartilage can be found. Okay, now the last one for today, blood. So blood consists of form, elements and plasma, right? So this is the plasma, this is the form, elements. Blood is a fluid connective tissue that is located in the blood vessels, right? In adults, the production of blood cells occurs in the red bone marrow, right? And the synthesis of blood cells are known as hematopoiesis. Now, blood is classified as connective tissue because the cells in the blood are separated by a matrix called plasma. Okay, and plasma is the liquid portion of blood. Usually contains several types of cells, including the erythrocytes and leukocytes. Erythrocytes also known as red blood cell, while the leukocytes are known as the white blood cell. So this is the white blood cell, this is the red blood cell. Okay, boleh nampak ah? Okay, so if you centrifuge a blood sample, right, this is what you'll be getting inside the centrifuge tube, right? Plasma and the blood components, they are being separated apparently. Now this diagram here to show you how differ between red blood cell and the white blood cell, as well as the platelets. Now the red blood cell, or erythrocytes, okay, involved in the gases exchange of oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas. Always remember that. Okay, and then red blood cells, they are formed in the bone marrow and liver. Okay, now for adults, red blood cells are formed or synthesized in the bone marrow, but for fetus, okay, these red blood cells, they are formed in the bone marrow and liver, right? Now matured red blood cells are lack of nucleus. Okay, tiada nucleus dalam red blood cell yang sudah matang. Alright, why? To enable more hemoglobin to bind with oxygen for transporting oxygen. Okay, you will learn more detail in the structure of this red blood cell in the second semester. Red blood cell has very thin membrane, right? Alright, okay, thin membrane or thin plasma membrane to enable easy gases exchange, so that oxygen and carbon dioxide can diffuse into or out from the red blood cell easily. That's why the red blood cell plasma membrane is very thin. Then red blood cell has a biconcave shape or nearly spherical shape. Okay, nearly spherical shape, to increase its surface area for gases exchange, right? To increase its surface area, tambah sini, for gases exchange. All right. Now, because the lack of the nucleus, it caused the red blood cell to have a biconcave shape. All right. Tanpa nucleus, bentuk red blood cell tu biconcave. Dan bila dia biconcave, dia punya surface area increase. Bila surface area red blood cell to increase, okay, what happens? Gases exchange is more efficient. Alright, so lebih banyak permukaan boleh expose. Leukocytes, right? Now, these white blood cells that involved in the immune defense, okay, and divided into granulocytes and agranulocytes. Now, granulocytes, okay, granules, low white blood cells, cytes cell, right? So white blood cells that has granule. So granulocytes has granules, right? Or lysosomes. And granule actually they are lysosomes, alright? These granules are actually lysosomes. Has granules or lysosomes and lobed nucleus. You can see the nucleus being lobed. Okay? Yang ni pun nampak lobed nucleus, L-O-B-E-D nucleus. Nampak? Okay? In their cytoplasm, formed and matured in the bone marrow. So there are three types of granulocytes. We have the neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil. Basophil ni sangat senang mau kenal pasti. Very easy to identify the basophil because it is highly granuled. Okay, sangat banyak granule. And if you observe this basophil under the microscope, alright, of course we will stain these cells with the methylene blue. Okay, when we stain with the methylene blue, you will see lots of deep blue staining granules. Okay. All right. Agranulocytes. Okay. These are the white blood cells that lack of granules in their cytoplasm. Okay. That's why you can see these agranulocytes, right? Di punya cytoplasm ni tiada granule. Alright, just cytoplasms. Okay. Now, these granulocytes, okay, form in the bone marrow and divided into monocytes and lymphocytes. Monocytes, you can see from here, right here, form the macrophage when matures. Right? Bila sudah matang, monocyte ni akan jadi macrophage. So macrophage or monocytes consumes pathogen and dead tissue cells. How this macrophage consume this pathogen, you will learn in detail in SEM 2, okay, in immunity. Now, lymphocytes, on the other hand, alright, is another type of agranulocyte, and this lymphocyte divided into T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. Right? So T lymphocytes, they are lymphocytes that mature in the thymus gland, okay, and assist B lymphocytes in the immune response. Right? Or to be more specific, these T lymphocytes assist the B lymphocytes in the humoral immune response. Now, B lymphocytes, on the other hand, matured in the bone marrow, synthesized and matured in the bone marrow, and produce antibodies in the humoral immune response. Okay. Now, these are platelets. Okay, platelets are also known as thrombocytes. Okay, so platelets, they are not complete cells. So platelets, they are fragments of giant cells that present only in the bone marrow. Okay, so when a blood vessel is damaged, platelets form a plaque that seals the vessels, seals the punctured blood vessels, right? And injured tissues release molecules that help the clotting process, help the blood clotting process. So when we compare all these cells, this is how they look like, right, from side by sides. So lymphocytes, either B cell or T cell. This is the monocyte, which will become the macrophage, right? Nampak? These two are granulocyte. Eosinophil, neutrophil, basophil. These are the granulocytes. Then we have the erythrocytes here. Now fibroblasts. Okay, is the most common type of cell found in the connective tissues. Okay, paling banyak dijumpai ialah fibroblasts. Fibroblasts secrete collagen protein that are used to maintain a structural framework for many tissues. Okay, they also play an important role in healing wounds. Okay, so ini fibroblasts. Fibroblasts ialah contoh which connective tissue? Let's go back. That mana tadi ya? Yang loose tuh. Yes, di sini. Right. The dense regular connective tissue. Right. Sini di mana ada banyak fibroblasts. Seperti slide tu di sini tau. Slide tu. Somehow it went behind there. Okay, so that's it for today. Right. Happy studying. Bye bye.